Hey everybody, Dylan here. In this video, we're going to talk about how to decouple your code such that it becomes more modular and testable using protocols. So let's just say that I have a networking manager here. All it does right now is decode data. This is actually an interview problem that I actually worked on at one of the companies that I had a live coding interview from. So we're going to talk about how to make it better, how to make it more testable, more modular, and more scalable, right? So why do that, Now, this might be a short example, but in a bigger code, what you want to do is you might have different things. You might not just have a networking manager, but maybe you have, I don't know, a class core data manager. Maybe you have a class picture manager. Maybe you have a class, I don't know, location manager, for example. And, when you're going into various view models, you're not really all that concerned about, oh, how do I, do core data? Maybe some views don't need to know that. So how do you make it more modular? How do you make it such that only the things that are needed in that particular view model are exposed in that way? So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Talk about specifically how to use protocols, right? So when we define a protocol, it's basically a good way to use dependency injection in your code instead of just doing networking manager, because in this case it's pretty simple, but networking manager could have a lot more features and functions, and this is a good way to kind of decouple it. So let's try to illustrate an example here. We'll say networking manager protocol, and then what we want to do is we want to conform that to the networking manager protocol. So basically, the protocol now has a list of things that it requires it to do, but it doesn't actually know how to implement it. So when a class inherits this protocol, it basically says, okay, tell me what to do with this information, right? Tell me how to implement this class here. So when I conform to networking manager protocol, I'm basically saying, okay, I have these functions here, and please tell me how to actually implement this functionality. So if I were to have a second one here, say decode data 2, obviously you wouldn't do this, but in a real life situation, but for the sake of explanation, we're going to have this here. So as you can see here, now Swift is complaining that it doesn't conform to protocol. It's basically saying that, hey, you defined decode data here. What do you want me to do with this function, right? So typically you're going to have decode data here. You're going to return whatever functions that you have here, right? So how do you actually use this in the view model? Let's talk about that. So let's show you the actual view model here. So the view model here is an observable object. Right now, it's just using the networking manager, but we want to use dependency injection to make our code a lot more modular and a lot more testable, right? So we created a protocol in our networking manager. How do we use it, right? So what we want to do is protocol, instead of having it equals to, we're going to initialize it instead. So init networking manager equals, it's just networking manager protocol equals networking manager as a default value. Self.networking manager equals the networking manager. So as you can see here, that's how you utilize dependency injection in order to use this protocol. Now, what does this do for us? It makes this code a lot more testable, a lot more flexible, which are very important in production code bases, right? So that's a quick video, quick solid tip there. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.